A conversation about Italian architecture or the Renaissance period cannot be had without the mention of Andrea Palladio. He was one of the most influential artists of his time, an Italian architect born in the year of 1508 in Padua, northern Italy. You might recognize his urban, suburban, or rustic suburban villas scattered all over the north side of the country. If this is the first time you're hearing his name, no fear. We're here to help you gain a better understanding of his life, style, and influence on Italian architecture. So, if you want to find out more about the castles, churches, and palaces he built, stick around to experience what life was like in 16th century Italy. And tighten your corsets. We're about to take a wild ride through the sunny streets of Palladio's hometown. Who was Andrea Palladio? Born in the beginning of the 16th century, Andrea Palladio was named Andrea di Pietro della Gondola by his father, whose works in architecture clearly influenced his son to follow his footsteps. Andrea himself had 4 sons, 2 of which would pass away in a short period of time, of course, deeply affecting him. Palladio's first job on a building site was given to him by his father. He was assigned to the position of a stone cutter for a well-known Italian sculptor, Bartolomeo Cavazza da Sossano. The working conditions there were so brutal, he had to urge to leave the job as well as flee the city. But after being asked back to finalize his 6-year commitment to Sossano, he moved on to working on sculptures and monuments with other architects and sculptors. However, it might come as a surprise that it was only at the age of 30 that Andrea Palladio started taking on projects independently. His first design was created for and with the poet San Giorgio Maggiore. It is thought that this is when Trissino saw the potential in Palladio and decided to take him under his wing and educate him about architecture. After having introduced him to all he had to know, he named him Palladio, after the Greek goddess of wisdom, and hired him to work on his first project. Trissino wanted a villa for his residency, which would later be known as Villa Trissino. This marks the start of Palladio's career as a professional architect, during which time he would build over 40 villas, up to 30 palaces, and around 20 churches. Most of these works are located in a town called Vicenza, close to Venice, which is now a famous tourist destination precisely because of Palladio's architecture. Andrea Palladio's style and inspiration. Palladio's extraordinary style was mainly influenced by elements of ancient Roman architecture, characterized by using material like limestone or marble for building arches and columns. What Andrea Palladio did was utilize these features in a slightly diverse ways, like every artist steals and adds a little twist of their own to it. Palladio believed that architecture was a sacred form of art that was not merely a composition of floors, windows, and doors, but something greater than just a building. He designed and built his work by ensuring the following 3 virtues were considered: calm, harmony, and dignity. You might be wondering how he achieved these states of being in people living in his buildings or ones who simply admired them from the outside. Here's how. To provoke calmness in humans, he would base his ideas on choosing simple colors and plain geometrical shapes, as well as furniture. It is clear that he did not intend to confuse the minds of spectators, but to do the opposite and bring a sense of stillness and composure. By ensuring that every single corner of his building was well measured and designed with flawless coordination to all other parts of the building, he evoked a great sense of harmony. Perfect symmetry was always considered by Palladio. This approach to simplicity and minimalism is reflected in many designs of villas and houses even today. Dignity, however, came in when Palladio insisted on embracing reality, whether it was luxurious or not. Let's take Villa Barbaro as an example, a villa built by Palladio in 1560, located near a farm outside of Venice. Instead of starting construction away from all the stables and barns, he decided to embrace the fact that the farm life could become as grand as the house he was building, each reflecting the other and sustaining their own dignity. By following all these ideas, he was trying to create a deeper sense of humanity through his designs to encourage a mixed sensation of confidence, harmony, and dignity within people, and to motivate them to become who they truly want to be. He wanted his work to have a positive and calming effect on one's living inside or visiting his buildings from the outside. You might be thinking, did he achieve it though? When you visit Vicenza, you will be surprised by how accurately he has channeled all these three virtues through bricks, stones, paint, and furniture. Palladio tried to create welcoming spaces that invite you inside as you leave your problems and human struggles outside. He did not give much attention or importance to glamour and luxury, and this is exactly what makes his constructions incredibly sophisticated, serene, and pure. Andrea Palladio's villas and churches. As we know now, Palladio's first villa was built for San Giorgio Trissino. The works on this building started in 1534 and lasted for the next 4 years. Trissino had inherited his family home from his parents and wanted to maintain it by redesigning the facade in collaboration with Palladio. The construction of this building is quite original, since the outer edges of it are pre-existing towers. In between them, the architects decided to insert an arcaded loggia that consisted of 2 floors with 3 arches on the first floor leading you inside. This monumental villa became a part of the World Heritage Site in 1994, which protected all works by Palladio. Later on, UNESCO would name it City of Vicenza and the Palladian Villas of the Veneto, as they decided to protect not only works in Vicenza but around the town as well. It was the year 1558 when Palladio designed his very first church facade for the San Pietro di Castello church in Venice. However, it has not survived until today. Yet, one of the most notable churches is the San Giorgio Maggiore church in Venice. It started construction in 1566 and ended in 1610, so it was finalized 30 years after Palladio's death. However, most of this work had still reached the end during Palladio's time. San Giorgio Maggiore is a Benedictine church built in a classical Renaissance architecture style located opposite St. Mark's Square, looking down on sky-blue water, creating a magical and pure sight for thousands of tourists daily. Basilica Palladiana. Another one of Palladio's notable works is Basilica Palladiana, located in Vicenza, Italy. It was built in the 15th century, originally as a Gothic-style government house with additional shops on the first floor. However, soon after the project was finalized, a part of the basilica collapsed, and a number of great Italian architects were called to work on reconstructing it. But at the age of 40 in 1546, Palladio was assigned to the job of redesigning and reconstructing the basilica. However, like many other works of Palladio, it was only completely finished after his death, leaving us the beautiful construction that covered up the once Gothic building with a more classical approach, as he added a marble facade, a portico, a little porch leaning up to the building to make it more elevated from the ground, and a loggia. Basilica Palladiana has recently gone through restoration in 2007 and acts as a gallery today, hosting an exhibition called Raphael Towards Picasso. It also became a part of UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites in the year of 1994. Teatro Olimpico, or Olympic Theater. We're now approaching the final years of Palladio's life. Teatro Olimpico was his final work, a truly grandiose design to end his 40-year-long career with. During these times, there were lots of permanent theaters being built all over Italy. Andrea Palladio would build stages for Compagnia della Calza in Bologna, Siena and Venice, leading up to his final work, that is the Olympic Theater. This theater was built in Piazza Matteotti in Vicenza for stage productions, and here's a fun fact: Palladio was a member of this Olympic Society himself before being offered the job of designing it. However, soon after the start of building Teatro Olimpico, Palladio passed away, and his ideas took 5 years to finalize until it was ready to open in 1585. Before the famous Vincenzo Scamozzi was called for the job, it was taken over by one of Palladio's sons, Silla. Regardless of Scamozzi making several modifications and changes, the style and decisions of Palladio are still sustained. It is clear that the style in which the theater is designed is of a Roman amphitheater, which means it is shaped in a circular way and has a raised seating. Elegant and traditional, this amphitheater hosted its very first audience to the play Oedipus Rex or Oedipus Tyrannus, a Greek tragedy written by the great Sophocles. The seat crafted by Scamozzi for this performance was extraordinary. He had come up with a trompe-l'oeil seat, which means he created the illusion of a never-ending street on a stage by the help of optical science, in order to give it a more realistic feeling and that the audience would be convinced that the street did actually lead out to the outside. After being abandoned for centuries, Teatro Olimpico reopened in 1997. It is truly unbelievable how the original set of Oedipus Tyrannus, as well as the lighting equipment, which mainly consisted of oil lamps, and more intricate details of the building, survived for such a long period of time. Today, this Olympic Theater is still a full-functioning theater utilized for staging plays and musical productions too. It has the capability to host up to 400 audience members per show. You might be able to recognize this beautiful theater in the 2005 American movie starring Heath Ledger called Casanova or Don Giovanni, a 1979 French-Italian film. Regardless, attending a performance at the Teatro Olimpico back in the 16th century must have truly been an incredibly magical and fairy-like experience. So, if you're curious to explore this masterpiece created by Andrea Palladio, be sure to visit the theater next time you're in Italy in order to travel back through time with the characters of Oedipus Rex. All in all, Andrea Palladio's approach to architecture has become a crucial part of Italian art history. He has truly deserved the title Palladian style, as architects all over the world take inspiration from his methods and techniques. Make sure to let us know what facts you knew or did not know prior to watching this video, and don't forget to mention which one of Andrea Palladio's works is your favorite so far. Thank you for watching.